Yesterday, President Obama warned about global growth, and he said global growth is going to take a hit because of the British referendum to leave the EU. Listen to what he said. I want to get your reaction.
I think there are some genuine longer-term concerns about global growth if, in fact, Brexit goes through and that freezes the possibilities of investment in Great Britain or in Europe as a whole. At a time when global growth rates were weak already, this doesn't help.
Do you share his concern? It's interesting that he said if Brexit goes through. He's still trying to push this narrative. It's not happening?
That's right. And so that's interfering in the UK, which I really don't think the U.S. should be doing that way. But the second thing that's interesting there, he's finally admitting that the global economy isn't doing very well. You notice he didn't say the U.S., but our growth rate has been so slow. And so they're going to use Brexit as an excuse for the bad result of the economy. And, you know, if it stays this way, they'll start blaming it on Trump, which doesn't make any sense. They've had 8 years in office, and the growth rate has been miserable. Right. Wages have been going down for a lot of people. Why
do you think that is? Is it largely regulation? Do you think that's hampering the U.S.'s ability to grow, or something else?
I've got to put some of the blame on the message. So as Obama hasn't really said we want small businesses to do well. And so one key thing is to have the top of the government wanting everybody to go forward. And so simply saying that changes the regulatory climate. If you're sitting at the top and saying businesses and business
don't pay their fair share.
Don't pay their fair share and are bad, that sets the tone out through the regulatory process.
Sure.
So that can change with attitude and then I think with policies. Trump said he wants better regulations, more effective.
I think David and I would agree with, without a burgeoning middle class in the United States, you're going to get no global growth. And so we need to focus our society on growing the middle class, because that will start the consumption cycle again, which will lift the rest of the world.
And you have to stop.
We're still 24% of the GDP.
And you have to stop telling people you just need better education, because that's not just from this administration, that's from prior administrations. As the jobs, manufacturing jobs disappeared, they were just told that you need to be retrained.
Yeah.
You need more modern skills.
Right.
Take the tax problem. We have the highest corporate tax rate, so inversions occur and corporations move their jobs out of the U.S. because of our tax code.
For sure.
So one of the best things for trade would be if we could get tax reform actually going. And Obama just hasn't done it, and Hillary Clinton seems to want a tax increase, not a reduction in the rate.
So Trump's corporate tax rate is 15%. I would think that's going to be a huge positive for growth.
Of course.
Hillary says she wants to lower taxes on some people, but she's raising taxes on most people.
And a problem with that is it raises the personal tax rate, which hits lots of small businesses.
Right.
You know, many small businesses aren't taxed as corporations, but as individuals. So as you raise that rate, it just kills small business growth. That's what she's saying.
And she has not said what her corporate tax rate would be, which I'm surprised.
Now, I want to put the 15% in context. I worked hard on the Reagan tax cut in '86 and recognize it's a negotiation. So this kind of skill that Trump has of how do you get a good deal for American workers out of Washington, D.C. This is hard to do. You have to really negotiate hard. Reagan did that in '86. And so putting 15% on the table is a really strong starting point. This will make growth go up.
So maybe it'll be 20%, is what you're saying. It's going to be
we don't know. Congress is going to be very involved, but you have to push them.
Of course. With the NAFTA situation and these other trade deals, the starting position is that we need to rethink and renegotiate, or at least be open to the idea. So I think when you're hearing his speeches, these are starting positions for the candidate, and he has said that continuously.
Yeah, he has. That's a good point. That's a very good point. David, great to have you on the program.
Nice to be here.
Come back soon. David Malpass joining us there.